We're looking at homework from section 1.3. This is question number 9. Identify the sampling techniques used and discuss potential sources of bias, if any. Explain. In 1965, researchers used random digit dialing to call 1,200 people and ask what obstacles kept them from buying insurance. So, what type of sampling was used? We're given 4 choices: simple random sampling, systematic sampling, convenience sampling, and cluster sampling. So let's review what each one of those types of sampling is about. In systematic sampling, members of a population are chosen by applying a fixed spacing from a random starting position. In convenience sampling, only the most readily available members of a population are chosen. In simple random sampling, that's where every member of the population in every possible sample has an equal chance of being chosen. And in a cluster sample, the sample is chosen by randomly selecting some, but not all, of the pre-existing groups in the population. So, in this particular problem, we're not told anything about choosing pre-existing groups, so it's not a cluster sample. We're not choosing readily available members because we're random digit dialing, so it's not a convenience sample. And we're not applying a fixed spacing, so it's not a systematic sample. So this would be a simple random sample, since each number had an equal chance of being dialed, so all samples of 1,200 phone numbers had an equal chance of being selected. So the correct answer for the first question is A. What potential sources of bias were present, if any? Select all that apply. So individuals may have not been available when the researchers were calling. Those individuals that were available may not have been representative of the population. Is that a potential source of bias? And in this question, the answer is yes. If you're not home when the phone rings, then you don't get asked the question. And so only people who were home at that particular time would be available for the sample, and that may not be representative of the population as a whole. What about the second one? The sample only consisted of members of the population that were easy to get. These members may not have been representative of the population. No, because we're random digit dialing, that doesn't make them easy to get. For choice C, telephone sampling only includes people who had telephones. People who owned telephones may have been older or wealthier on average and may not have been representative of the entire population. That is a potential source of bias. Answer D. Individuals may have refused to participate in the sample. This may have made the sample less representative. Oftentimes, people use their caller ID and they see it's a number they don't recognize, so they don't answer. And so that means only people who are willing to answer calls from an unknown number would be in your sample, which may skew the sample. So that's also a potential source of bias. And since we've already identified a few potential sources of bias, the answer can't be E. So that's your answer.